Hi, I'm Dana, and today I want to talk about some of the things that I wish were more accessible as an autistic person and the ways that they could be. And it fits really well because my heart is beating really fast right now because I'm trying to book a doctor's appointment. So we're going to start there because it's made me so anxious. So I've already had my own little struggle as an autistic person because I signed up for my GP surgery as soon as I moved in. And then I was like, I have no idea which of these I signed up with. Not a clue. So it's been a worry of mine for like the last few weeks that I don't even know where to start with trying to book a doctor's appointment because I don't know which one's my doctor's. So I had my friend phone around this morning. Luckily they only had to phone too, so it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, and they obviously they didn't mind doing it for me, so I deeply appreciate that. So I know which doctor's is mine now, and I'm not sure I said that's what we're starting with. I wish that medical appointments and doctor's appointments and medical referrals and everything to do with my health was more accessible because I find it extremely difficult to keep up with. I have a variety of health issues that people in my comments are always bringing up and be like, you should see a doctor about that. And it's like, yeah, I have an abundance of things that I should see a doctor about. The act of sorting out a doctor's appointment is very, very difficult for me. And I especially find it difficult because I'm someone who's moved I've moved like 3 times in the last 2 years, and I was moving almost yearly before that. It's been quite a time of me moving and then having to sign up to a different doctor's place, and each place has a slightly different way of doing everything, and it makes it so difficult for me. And it can be easier. The one that I've done today, rather than having to wake up at like 7:30 to get into the phone queue for 8 so that you might be able to get an appointment, because a lot of the ones that I've previously used will only provide you an appointment on the day. They don't do like in future appointments anymore. So the one I used today had an online booking system where I like told them all of my issues through like an AI chat thing that I didn't adore, and then like an hour and a half later someone got back to me and were like, okay, we see what you want, we'll get that sorted. And then right when I sat down to film this video, they rang me up to confirm that that's what I want and that they'll book the appointment. And I managed it, and I'm quite proud of myself for that, to be honest with you. I really do. See, that's the thing, is they said that they'll phone me or email me or reply on the website, and they replied on the website and then phoned me. And it's things like that where like, I assume you knew what, like they know really, don't they? They have their way that they're doing things. They're going to phone me. I really wish they'd told me that they were going to phone me. I wouldn't, see, it would have spoiled my day and that I would have been sat there waiting for the call, but it wouldn't have made me have like such a panicked reaction when they actually did phone. Like I absolutely shit myself. I really wish that I didn't need to do the phone call in the first place. We've done so much of the rest of it on the little online portal thing. Let me just finish up the job there, babes. Don't phone me. But if you're going to, let me know when it's gonna happen. I find it very difficult, and like I've dealt with it today. I can deal with it to a point on my better days. If I was having a really bad day, I wouldn't have picked it up, and I'd be like, oh my god, I've just ruined my entire life because I didn't answer the phone call that I have done the things that I needed to do to make it happen, you know? I really wish that just the initial getting a doctor's appointment was more accessible to me as an autistic person. And I've been given at various points referrals to different departments. The only time that I've actually followed through on it was when I had a cyst in my boob and I needed it popped, and I think that might be what's happening again. I don't really know. It absolutely terrifies me. The only time I followed up on the referral was that because like my boob's swollen and in like quite a lot of pain, and like I can feel a lump in there and I'm petrified. So yeah, I'm like calling up and checking on that referral and sending them emails and everything because I'm petrified, and like there is no point that my mind stops thinking about it. And the only other referral I followed up on was when my friend took me to sort my asthma referral out, and I still don't know how to get an inhaler. I don't know how the inhalers work. I've been diagnosed with asthma twice as an adult. Both times they're like, here you go, here's your bit of paper, go get your inhalers. And I go and get my inhalers and then they run out, and I'm just like, it's the end of that, innit? Like, just as well I don't have severe asthma or I'd die. At one point I signed into my like NHS journal online account thing, I don't know, and it was like, oh yeah, you've had like 7 referrals to all these different places, but you took too long and now they're not a thing. And I don't know. I went to a doctor's appointment and I explained all my things, and he was like, yeah, we'll refer you for this, this and this. And then I didn't hear anything else about anything. I don't know if I was supposed to do something. I don't know if someone else was supposed to do something. I don't have a clue. I know that these referrals did get put through, and then they're like, oh, out of the time frame now, took too long, and I don't know what I'm meant to do. I don't know who I'm meant to speak to. I don't know who I'm supposed to follow up with. I don't know what I'm like. I don't have a clue. I don't understand how my prescriptions work, never mind all the rest of it. I got extremely lucky to be diagnosed as autistic by just going to my GP and being like, dude, I think I'm autistic. And he was like, right, we'll put the referral through. And then they kept updating me and letting me know, like, you're still there, you're still on the list for several years. You know, like, if I'm not being told what to do or where to go or who to speak to, I don't know where to go or what to do or who to speak to. And I find that that is very, very often the case when I'm trying to get things sorted for my physical health. And I go to my doctor's appointment, I explain it, and they act like they're going to do something, or completely dismiss me and invalidate me and act like I'm just being a silly little woman with silly little woman issues, which is, you know, always lovely. But even when I leave the appointment feeling good and feeling like things are going to move forward, they just don't, because I don't really know how I'm meant to move them forward. I don't get it. It's not accessible to me. I literally, like, I can't process it. I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm meant to do. I don't know. You know? Now, I've made notes for this one. I'm really like doing a YouTube video today. So I've tried to split it up a bit so that there's like more serious ones, like I should be able to access healthcare, and some like more silly, like slash, you know, not ones that can lead to my death, essentially. More fun ones to talk about. So another one that I really wish was more accessible to not only me as an autistic person, but to autistic people in general, is queer events. And one of the things that's really made me think of this is the fact that I found several queer events local to me recently that are really accessible to me. You know, like, obviously everyone's different, everyone's gonna feel differently about things, but I found a few that I've found really accessible, and I've been really enjoying getting to like attend and speak to other people and meet people and just generally getting to go out and do a thing and be a person. It's been really great. But I've so often not had those experiences because a lot of queer spaces are very inaccessible. A lot of queer spaces feel very, everyone already knows each other, everyone's already got their little group, everyone's already got their partner, their best friend, the people that they hang out with, and coming into those spaces as a new person in general, it's really scary and really terrifying. And coming into those spaces as an autistic person, where I'm not only worrying about like the social interaction and who I'm going to speak to and who I'm going to like go and address and all of that stuff when I first walk in, but also like just finding the venue. A lot of them are like, I can't tell you how many queer events I get ads and things for online, where I click through and I genuinely like the look of it and I'm considering getting a ticket. I can't find where it is. Like, I can't even find a general like city or town that it's in, never mind the actual venue. I don't know if it's meant to be some sort of like secret underground thing where I'm like supposed to know someone that's already going, or if I'm supposed to message someone or whatever else, but it's completely inaccessible to me. I do not know where these things are happening. I don't know what's going on with them. I haven't got a fucking clue. One of the things that's made the events that I've been going to here be a lot more accessible and nice for me is that they're like queer craft events. They are sober, like no one's drinking. It's a quieter environment, you know, things like that. Like going to like a queer club night, like as much as I like the idea of it and I'd love to be that person that's like all dressed up and having a boogie, it's actually just too loud, it's too much, it's too, like there's all these lights and then some areas are really dark and there's all these people and it just stresses me the fuck out. And there is definitely a big level of like sometimes spaces just aren't for me, and that's fine. If I don't like a club, don't go to a club night, you know, fair enough. But in a lot of places there isn't really an alternative to that. A lot of places that is your queer event, that is your queer socialization, you know. That's very much what I found living in a city previously, and I really wish that a lot more of us had the opportunity to go to these much like quieter, safer feeling events that are just much nicer for autistic and neurodivergent people, you know, especially like so many of us are queer and trans and whatever else. I feel like that we really need those spaces that are not only for us as queer people, but also for us as autistic and neurodivergent people. I think they're really important, and I really, really adore living in a place where I have community-run versions of those that really work well for me and are really accessible. But I've spent a very, very long time in places that did not have that type of thing. So as much as like it's working for me now, thank God, I want to throw it in because like it didn't for like 15 years, you know. And even when I was going to groups as a teenager that were like quieter, like more like charity led groups and things like that, they're still really terrifying to attend. And so often they would be at these like the first one that I went to that I ended up like going to it quite a lot, I still felt very isolated because people didn't really speak to me. I didn't really like know what I was meant to be doing there. Like I didn't really get what was going on or what the point of it was, and I struggled a lot with that. But even, I think it was like the third or fourth time that I went, like I kept going to the venue when it was happening, and I'd sort of like look around and I'd stand there and I'd like try the door and it'd be locked, and I was just like, no one's here. Like, it doesn't seem like anything's happening. I don't get what's going on. And then it was after I'd like done that a few times that I saw someone go around the back and to the side, and he looked a bit queer, so I followed, and it turned out that you had to go in through the back door, and just no one said that, no one put that anywhere. I didn't have a fucking clue. There's just so many little ways that things become really inaccessible for autistic people before we even get to the socialising, before we even get to the part that's like really terrifying and draining. We've already had to deal with all these other things that are really difficult to get around. And similarly, like, since I included that being all like, oh, because loads of autistic people are queer too, obviously a lot of, like, statistically you can check this one out, because every time I say things like this I get loads of comments from people being like, well, I'm autistic and I work, and like, fucking good for you, I'm happy for you. But statistically, a lot of autistic people are not in work, and we don't work, and we don't have jobs, and that's where housing becomes an extremely inaccessible thing for us. In order to get the house that I get to live in and not be homeless, I had to pay a deposit, which I know is fairly standard. I'm not like, and I'm autistic and I had to pay a deposit. Like, I get that that's pretty standard. And I also had to have a guarantor, which again, I'm aware is fairly standard. But as an autistic person that's on PIP and Universal Credit, where am I saving up a deposit? I got incredibly lucky that one of my friends was willing to pay it. I otherwise would not have this house. I don't think I'd have any house. I don't think I'd have any flat. I think I'd be homeless, because I wouldn't have had that money. It would have just been entirely inaccessible to me. Similarly, my guarantor is one of my online friends that I met through being autistic. If I hadn't had that stroke of luck, this would have been entirely inaccessible to me. Before I'd like spoken to my group chat and shared all of my like fucking fears and spirals and all the things that I needed, and they were like, oh, we can actually provide this. Prior to that, I was just like, I've tried all my options, I've looked into everything I can. Every housing option that is available to me, I need to apply and pay this money and have people that are supporting me in my application, that have jobs and that have their own houses and all of these various different things. I have to have all that in order to get a house. And if I don't have all that, which for a long time I didn't, that's why I ended up in like really horrible situations with housemates and things. You know, like, having a safe housing situation was very inaccessible to me for a very long time, and it's only accessible to me now through luck. And I know from having autistic friends that a massive amount of us are living with these situations where we're living with people that are not safe for us to live with, we're living in places that aren't safe to live, we just generally don't have safe housing like everyone deserves. And there's a variety of reasons for it that I don't think I'm clever enough to get into, to be entirely honest with you. And this definitely isn't one of the topics where I can provide like, and here's how we make it accessible beyond like universal basic income and things like that. Everyone deserves to have a house. I don't care if you're autistic, I don't care if you're neurodivergent, I don't care if you're autistic, I don't care if you're the singular most like untraumatized, unneurodivergent, like you're actually the 100% most normal person in the world. I still think everyone deserves housing. I still think everyone deserves to be able to like eat and have water and all of the basics, you know? Everyone deserves to have the things that they need. And it's often just quite a lot more difficult for autistic people to get those things. And that's definitely one of the things that I found. Like, I really had to reach out for a lot of help that a lot of people haven't been comfortable to provide me in the past, and fairly so. And I got very, very lucky to have friends that were able and willing to do it for me. And it's honestly quite terrifying to live in situations where you're like, oh yeah, I'm good for like the next several years. Once I'm not, let's hope my friends are still in positions to help me. I massively rely on the luck of having people that care about me. Like, you know, and it's one of those things as well where I've worked real hard on not feeling bad about it, because I am like, most people have support, you know? Most of the people my age, when I was living with housemates, the people I was living with were getting support from their parents and other people around them. Like, I don't have the same types of people to get support from, but I still deserve to get support. But I do have to really actively tell myself that. And it's just massively not fair for like everyone else on the planet that it's not an accessible system to be able to have somewhere safe to live. So yeah, that's that point. So this one's quite similar to my little points about queer spaces, and a lot of them still stand for this. But I really wish that a lot more like arts and creative spaces were more accessible for autistic people. My mental health has benefited so much, a multitude of times over the years, from getting to be creative, getting to just being a creative person and finding that art is something that very much like helps me to figure out my mental state, to process things. Just art is something that is a very useful like medium for me to deal with life through. And it's one of those things that's just always come like very naturally to me. It's always something that I've gravitated towards. That's just how I am as a person. But I think that, you know, I haven't met anyone that doesn't benefit from having a little go at something creative, even if they don't feel like they're good at it or whatever else. And I don't think that you should need to be good at it. I think that everyone should be able to be creative and be artistic and then have a go at things, because it makes you feel good and it's fun and it's a way of like connecting with the inner child and connecting with people around you. And I just think that it's like one of the absolute best things that people can do for themselves. I think that all of us could benefit from being more creative and artsy and just giving things a go a bit more. And I think a lot more people would be willing to do it, autistic and otherwise, if art spaces felt more accessible. And obviously, a lot of art spaces don't feel accessible to like the average person in general, never mind autistic people. But there's also been a lot of like community art spaces that I've been a part of that didn't feel accessible to me specifically because I was autistic. You know, like a lot of art spaces aren't the best funded. They don't have loads and loads of money going into them, so they're often in sort of like quite weird and unique venues. So like when I was living in Birkenhead, I wanted to go to a show that one of the people I was like trying to befriend there was putting on, and I got there early and I just couldn't find it. And I told them that I was going, so I had this really like weird anxiety dilemma of like, I can't go home and not show up like I usually would in this situation, because I've told someone that I'm going to be here and I am here. I just don't understand where the venue is. And I was stood outside for so long that one of the people from like the neighbouring houses came out and was like, "Are you alright, love?" And I was like, "Oh, I was meant to be going to this event, but I can't find it." And he had to like pull up a full like fucking garage shutter and take me through like a whole courtyard and stuff to take me through to this art space. And like, sure, it was very fucking cool once I was in there, and the people were nice and they were like, "Oh, we didn't think anyone else was coming," even though I'd paid for my fucking ticket. And like, I arrived like 15 minutes early. Like, it was a whole thing. But anyway, a lot of art spaces are like that. A lot of art spaces are like, okay, so that we're in this building, you just go down these 7 corridors, this 3rd right, this 4th left, go up these stairs, down here, up there. And like, I can't fucking find it, pal. I can't find it. Like, my sense of direction is that when I go into a bathroom in like a restaurant or something, when I come out, I have to fully stop and like regather my bearings to know how I re-enter the restaurant from the bathroom that I've just entered. Like, you'd think it would be in my brain. It isn't. If you're having to give me fucking directions to get your art space, it's not that I don't want to show up, it's that I fucking can't. I can't find it, pal. I literally can't find it. So that's why straight off the bat with the like community art space that I've been going to, I really fucking loved that I bought a ticket to like the first event I was going to go to there, and I think it was a day or 2 before. It was before the event for sure, I just don't remember if it was 1 day before or 2 days before. I got this lovely email telling me exactly what time to arrive, like to the minute, exactly what time I should be getting there, a little map showing me exactly where I should arrive to, told to like where to wait because someone's going to come and meet you to take you to the gallery. And I was like, fucking yes, this is the shit. That is what I need. And that would benefit me at everything I fucking attend, every queer event, everything. If someone could just meet me outside and take me in, that relieves 90% of my anxiety straight off the bat. That makes me feel so much better. It takes away so much of like the guessing game of like, where am I going? What do I do when I walk in? Who should I talk to? Like, what the fuck am I doing to not just be stood here like a fucking lemming? Like, it takes that away. It makes it so much fucking easier. And I hadn't even realised that this space was like specifically trying to be like autistic accessible and things like that. Like, it's in their leaflet, and it made complete sense to me once I read it, because I've been able to access it. I've been able to access it in a way that has felt very safe and very easy compared to a lot of other things. And as with a lot of accommodations and a lot of being autistic, the fact that it's easier doesn't mean that it suddenly becomes easy. Like, I still end up getting an Uber every fucking time I go because I'm like so anxious being late, and like, I don't even know what I'm fucking anxious about. I really like it though, that's why I keep going, but I get really anxious. So to make it accessible to myself, I already had to get an Uber. Having the person that's gonna be running the event just come and meet us outside, you have like a couple of minutes of everyone being like, "Oh, how are you?" And there's this like introductory period that is often a little bit awkward anywhere that you go. Like, the introduction is always a little bit like that, and then you go to a different space and it feels like the awkwardness has been left and you get to move on from it, while also being shown where the fuck I'm going because I would not know otherwise. Like, it just makes it 1,000 times easier. And I do assume that most things that make things easier for me make things easier for like everyone, to be honest with you. Like, unless it's a very like specific personal accommodation that I'm doing for myself. Who doesn't like to be shown where you're fucking going when you have to like go upstairs and around the corridor and stuff? It's confusing, people get lost. I think it helps everyone. Like, maybe not everyone needs it in the same way that I do, but I think it's helpful for everyone. And finally, at the end here, it's not the last on my list, but this video is getting a bit long and I'm quite tired of talking and I really want to make it to Asda today, so like, that really ties into this one. And I could have, I'm losing words, that's why, that's mostly why I want to finish this video. I wish that grocery shopping was more accessible. I do a mix of having things like delivered, doing like a big shop and having it all delivered, and just going into town and going to the shop myself, because I don't find either of them easy. I don't find either of them particularly pleasant. Both of them are times that I could do with like more accommodations in place for myself. I find doing the big online shop extremely overwhelming. It absolutely throws me when they substitute my things with anything, and I really, really hate it because I've ordered my specific things on purpose. It annoys me that my regulars, like, it's not just the things you regularly buy, it often just shows me like everything that I've ever bought there, and it's like, okay, but I didn't like half of this, you know. That's why I don't buy it regularly, because I didn't like it, but I just get showing it every single time and have to like scroll through, and it just feels like so much mental energy for me to sort that online shop. Like, it absolutely takes all of my mental capacity. Like, that is all I'm doing that day, is sorting my stupid little online shop, and it only takes me like 40 minutes, and yet it absolutely exhausts me. So that's where quite often, especially as like I run out of things through the month, I just go to the shops in town, and that's when I'm like, God, it is so fucking bright in here. Why does it need to be this bright? Why are there lights on the ceiling and in the fucking fridges and in the like, why is there a light everywhere that I look, just like burning into my fucking retinas? Why have you done this? Why is everything beeping? Why are there so many beeping noises and alarm noises? Why can't it just be either music or fucking quiet? Like, just stepping foot into a grocery shop, the feeling of the fucking air puts me off at this point. I absolutely hate it. And there is also a similar level of overwhelm of like, there's all these products, they're missing the thing that I wanted, I need to get an alternative of this. Like, it's already like, the basis of it, the act of doing the thing that I need to do in order to do my shop is already something I find quite difficult and that I haven't been able to find any accommodations for. Let it be fucking quiet and not so bright. Like, I'm not asking for dimness, you know? Like, I don't like it to be dim. I want to see what I'm doing. Why does there have to be a light? Everywhere. Everywhere. And part of me is like, the accommodation is if I could just tell someone all of the meals that I wanted to eat, and then they went and bought all of the things that I'd need to eat all of those meals. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'd have to figure out what the fuck I want to eat. I don't figure out what I want to eat until I want to eat it. Every single night it is a struggle of like, shit, what am I going to eat that I feel able to stomach and that seems like an edible thing for me to eat today? And it's, fuck knows, it'll be the same thing for like 19 days in a row, and then all of a sudden if I look at that food again, I'm going to throw up. I can't do it. It's not edible anymore. It's not food. My brain does not register that the thing that I've been eating every single day for the last 19 days doesn't register as food anymore. And I still have fucking 150 packets of these noodles that I bought in bulk because, oh, that's the safe food. It's not the safe food anymore. Like, oh, it's so frustrating, and it's only my own brain that's doing it, but I can't control her. She's her own force, she's her own entity. So that is one of those things that is just sort of a constant struggle, and I really hope that I figure out accommodations for it in future, but I haven't found them yet. So yeah, that's the last point that we're going to do for this video. I know that I've talked about some of these before. Wanted to talk about them again. Deal with it. So yeah, God, I'm really running out of ability to speak. So very quickly at the end here, as always, I will have 3 links down below. One will be for my friend Steph's GoFundMe, because their partner needs an accessible van so that they don't get repeatedly re-injured during transport. It would change both of their lives. It would massively help a disabled person who, as I said, is re-injured or otherwise like hurt in some way every single time they need to go anywhere. And that means that they also only go out when they need to, and they don't get to go out and do fun things. So it would be a massive life-changing thing and be really great and helpful and amazing if you wanted to go over and read their story, have a little look at what they go through. If you want to share it or donate, that would also be really cool. It's up to you, do what you want, do what you will. The second link is for my friend Alec to be able to get top surgery, because I think we all know that here in the UK, the NHS is a difficult beast to deal with, as we discussed at the start of the video. So if Alec was going to just sit on the waiting list and wait for them to do it for him, he would be there a very fucking long time, which is obviously quite disheartening and just very shitty. I think that people deserve the healthcare that they need in general. I especially think that trans people deserve the gender affirming healthcare that they need. So it'd be really, really cool if you went and had a little read of what he has to say about it all. If you can have a little share of that, if you could donate it all, that would be very, very cool. It'd be deeply appreciated. There's a part of me that feels like I need to do like a whole like trans ally speech every time I fucking talk about his link, but he's just some guy that's my friend that I really like, that I think deserves to fucking like live a happy, nice life and get what he wants. So I'm putting it out there for him, you know? Like it is that deep, but it's also not that deep, but it is that deep. So do what you fucking will. I would obviously really appreciate it if you share it all. I know that we're all in hard times. It can be really difficult to afford the things that we need, never mind give away money to other people to get the things that they need. But if you're able to, it'd be really cool. And the third link will be to my Patreon, because my cat has a heart murmur and he needs to get a heart scan, and it's insanely fucking expensive, but he is my literal child and I will do anything for him. So I'm trying really hard to not withdraw any money from Patreon until it's the amount that I need for the heart scan in there. So it'd be really cool if you want to become a Patreon. You do get to see most content early. I do not have time to edit this and get it posted to Patreon before it goes up on YouTube, but I do try my best with it. I would love to offer you more on Patreon. I just don't really know what to offer. I don't really know what people want. If you have any suggestions, please do tell me. I'll probably implement it. I really love you guys over there. Y'all really mean the world to me. It really has been, it's so fucking lovely to be supported financially for the work that I put in here, okay? I'm just gonna say it. I put quite a lot of effort in, and YouTube monetization pays me like £70 a month if I'm lucky, and it's probably not gonna pay out eventually soon. It's actually quite terrifying. It's really nice that you guys want to do that for me, even though you get basically fuck all back for it. But I would also love to give you something back for it if you want it, so let me know. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.